In the previous class, we have studied about the investment decision, and there are like a long-term investment decision and a short-term investment decision. Next, we have to study the factors affecting the investment decisions. What are the different factors which can affect the investment decisions? That is what we have to study about. So, in that there are two categories again. That is, first one is a long-term investment decision or a capital budgeting decision. Long-term investment decision or a capital budgeting decision. So, this is related to. Now it has to start. The following factors affect this decision. First, these are the things that is going to affect the long-term investment decision. First one is cash flow of the project. So, like when you are making a project, how much amount of money is required, how much amount of cash flow is required for the project. We know investment decision, like a capital budgeting decision, is related with the investment in long-term assets. These assets involve both cash outflows and cash inflows over a series of years. The amount needed for the investment is known as a cash outflow, and on the other hand, returns from the same investment is known as a cash inflows. Both of these need to be analyzed carefully before finalizing the investment. Okay. So there are like cash flows means that there are cash outflows as well as cash inflows. Okay. See, for example, if you are purchasing a building, okay, and you are giving it for rent. So, the money that you are spending for purchasing the building, that is the outflow. Do you understand? So, you imagine that you are purchasing a building maybe for 50 lakh rupees. One building you are purchasing for 50 lakh rupees. So, this is the outflow. Okay. And you purchase this building, and after this you are giving it for rent. Okay. So in 1 month you will be getting 10,000 rupees rent. Okay. 1 month is equal to 10,000. Okay. So in the beginning you have to invest 50 lakh rupees. That is the outflow. And after spending this money, you purchased it and it will be in your hand, and you are giving this building or this shop maybe there, and you are giving it for lease or for rental basis, and in 1 month you will be getting 10,000 rupees. Okay. So in a year you are getting 1,20,000 rupees. Isn't it? 1.2 lakh rupees. So how many years it will take if you want to get this money back? Around 40 years, around 35-40 years it will take. Isn't it? So that we have to calculate. So how much outcome, so how much output we have to spend, how outflow of money, how much is there, as well as how much amount of income we will be getting back, how long it will take. So if imagine that if you are investing this much money, and after 30 years, how much money that you are getting is a profit for you. 50 lakh rupees building, maybe more money you will be getting. 10,000 rupees may not be there. Some 20-25,000 at least you will get rent. So big building will be there, like the shops and all are there. And it depends on the area where we are getting. So how much investment we have to make, as well as how much amount of return we will get. Do you understand? If you start a school, for starting the school, in the beginning we have to purchase the land, we have to make a building. All this investment is there. And when the student starts coming, then like some 20 students will come or 30 students will come, and their fees or amount of money that we are getting in. So how much outflow means the investment required, how much we need to spend the money, and inflow means the how much money we will get it back, return. Do you understand? For everything that we have to calculate. So based on that we have to, if you invest the money in shares, so like if you are purchasing a share, instead of purchasing this 50 lakh rupees building, you invest this money in some shares. Isn't it? So if you invest this money, then per year you will be getting dividend, or you can even sell it in a higher cost. Isn't it? So you can sell it. So if you are investing this money, purchase some shares, then after that if that share is in profit, then you can sell it and get it in another way. Okay. But if you are investing in shares, there is no any guarantee that you will get returns. But not like 1000, you may get more lakhs of rupees also, you may get a profit. But there is no any guarantee that you will get money. But if you purchase building, there is no any like a huge amount of profit will not be there, but per month you will get any fixed amount, you will get 10,000 rupees. If you are giving this room for rent, every month you will get 10,000 each. Is it no? You will not get more also, you will not get less also. Do you understand? If you make like some quarters for teachers or people, those who are standing like a rent a room, such a way if you are making a building and giving it for people, they will give rent every month. And if they are not giving rent, we can send them out and bring another person and let them stay there. Okay. So depending on the money, how much outflow is there and how much inflow is there. Okay, that we have to calculate. How many years it will take for the money to get it back, collect the money back. How much amount of profit we will get, all these things. So based on that, we have to make the investment. Okay. Then next one, the rate of return. A project may not be profitable as compared to other. The criterion to decide the profitability of various projects is their respective rate of returns. The rate of return is calculated on the basis of expected return of the project and the risk attached with it. If two projects are the same risk class, the project having higher rate of return will be accepted. So if they mind that if we are having two projects, the different projects we will have different it's a different type of policies or different type of works that we are going to do, and in different this one the return that we are going to get, so the profit that we are going to get will be different, right? That is called the rate of return, how much money we are spending and the amount of profit that we can get and the amount of risk that we have to. So like imagine that you are starting a business, like if you are having like 50 lakh rupees is there, with that if you start a showroom of any maybe like a bike showroom or car showroom like that, so you can make it and you can do business. You can also start a business of maybe like a smuggling, gold smuggling or any other type of things, and you will get a very huge return, but risk is very much high, or if you are starting like a cloth market or a clothes shop, if you are going to start a textile showroom, and if you can start maybe like sandals or grocery shop or margin free market, different business, so many options will be there. So in that, how much profit you are going to get, return. So you invest money and how much amount of profit you are going to get back. That we have to calculate, as well as the amount of risk that we have to do. Okay. So if there are two projects and the two of these projects are having almost the same amount of risk, then which is getting higher return is the better project. Okay. And if in one project, when you see the risk, the return will be almost equal to the amount of risk that we are taking. If a very risky business is there, then we will get more profit. If less risky, like giving room for rent, is a very less risky business. But the return will be very much low. So every month we will get some 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 like that we will get. But that money we will get back anyhow. Okay, there is a very less chance of losses are there. If any people leave the building and go, or some kind of problem. If somebody is going, then we will get some other person. So there is no much risk is not. But if you start with some businesses like winter clothes and all, okay, so you start selling winter clothes, and if this year if start selling winter clothes, and if the winter is very much high, there will be huge demand, and the clothes will be sold for very high price. And when if this year, in now itself it becomes very cold, so people start expecting that this year it will be very much cold will be there. So thinking like that, many people will start this winter clothes business. So the competition will be high. Even though the demand is high, there will be so much amount of competition, and the products which we have brought may not be able to be sold. Even though there are huge demand, all the products may not be sold. And if when the competition increases, then we cannot sell the product in very high price. So then per unit profit also may not be there. So we have to calculate how much amount of return that we will get. So risk is there. But if you consider grocery business, if you are starting a grocery shop, if you are starting, even if it is winter or summer or whatever may be there, people will be coming for purchasing. But the profit that you are getting is limited. Like 1 kilogram of rice, if you are selling for 50 rupees, you will get maximum 5 rupees profit. You know. But that permanently you will get any, if it is even lockdown is there, then also people will purchase rice, wheat, all other type of grocery items and all people will start purchasing. And you can, even if the people are not able to come to the shop, we can give some home delivery systems and all, such a way we can manage. But other type of like a cloth market, a textile showroom is there. If lockdown is there, then people will not. It will be like or cosmetics or like gold ornaments, all these type of things are there. So without that, people can survive. You know, people are in a good position, then only like starting a gold jewelry business is there, very profitable business. But risk is very high. You know, if demand is high, people will be purchasing. If the people like this corona problem and all is there, such type of situation, people will stop purchasing because see, like this is not an essential product. You know, this is a luxury product. When the people do not like this is now the life of people are in a question mark. You know, we don't know whether we will be surviving next year or not. We don't know whether your exam will be conducted or not. You know, so you don't know. Everything is in question mark. You know, there is no any guarantee. The last year there was no any confusion. You know, we know that in the month of March the exam will be conducted, and this month you will have your practical exam will be conducted. All the things are very much confirmed. But now the things are not very confirmed. You know, some websites they are telling that the CBSE will be conducting the exam exactly on the same time itself, and some websites they are saying that the exam will be postponed. Some are saying that the exam will be cancelled. You know, so different opinions are there, and nobody is giving any clear-cut idea. But the CBSE is telling that anyhow exam will be conducted, and they also say that the exam will be most probably on the same date like March and all. Towards normally when the exam is conducted, almost the same way this will be there. And again regarding the syllabus, some say that 50% of the syllabus will be deleted. Some say that full syllabus will be there. Some say that 30% will be deleted. What is there, we don't know. Any clear idea not there. So till now we don't get any proper. Some portions they have deleted. Around 30% of the portions they have reduced. That much information we have got. But in other type of things, some websites they are showing that further syllabus will be deleted. So we don't know already if a total syllabus is deleted, there is no any benefit. So such a way it is there. So there is all question mark is there. So there is a risk chance is higher. Do you understand? So different type. So based on the risk, how much? So we studied that profit is the reward for risk taking. So the more risk you take, the more reward, more profit you will get. You understand? So the rate of return is depending on the amount of risk that we are ready to take. Okay. The next one, investment criteria involved. There may be many criteria of the investor while investing in the long-term assets. These are funds involved, rate of return, rate of interest, rate of return, cash flow, etc. All these factors influence the decision to go for a particular investment or not. For the same purpose, capital budgeting techniques are applied and accordingly decisions are taken. So, for making some kind of investment, there are so many criteria are there. It's like how much amount of rate of interest is there, how much amount of rate of return is there. All these type of factors are to be considered. There are so many criteria which we have to study or involved in the case of investment. So that we have to be careful and we have to study about that, and after that only we should make a proper decision which will be more profitable one and which is having like a less time period. So if you are investing huge amount of money and you will get huge profit, but after 20 years, 30 years, then much benefit is not there. After 20 or 30 years, if we will be surviving or not, that we don't know. Like coronavirus situation, we have never expected. No, nobody has thought that you will get a holidays for 6 months or 7 months like that. So these type of situations, and there are situations. Some people say that corona is over. Some people say that some news analysts reporting that some especially in Delhi and all, the number of cases are increasing. The corona is coming for the second time again. Means it is number is repeating in some places. So there are so many informations, but we have no any clear idea about it. Okay. So these are the different things that we have to keep in mind while we are making a decision regarding the long-term investment. And there are also next topic is about the short-term investment decision. So when we have to make about a short-term investment decisions, also we have to keep something in mind. The following factors affect the short-term investment decision. The decision is related to the working capital management. Keeping adequate amount of working capital at all the times in a business is called management of the working capital. Adequate amount means that the amount of working capital should neither be more or less than required. Both these situations are harmful. If the amount of working capital is more than required, it will no doubt increase the liquidity but decrease the profitability. For instance, if a large amount of cash is kept as the working capital, then this excessive cash will remain idle and cause the profitability to fall. On the contrary, if the amount of cash and other current assets is very little, then a lot of difficulties will have to be faced in meeting daily expenses and making payments to the creditors. Thus, the objective of the management of working capital is to determine optimum amount of both the current assets and the liabilities, so that the profitability of the business remain in fact and there is no fail in liquidity. In short, liquidity and profitability are the main factors which affect the short-term investment decision. So regarding the short-term investment decisions, the thing we have to consider is about the liquidity. So we need to have some money in like a cash in hand or working capital. Working capital means what? The amount of money required for the day-to-day activities. Okay. So if that total amount of capital or the money that we are having is divided into two categories, that is a long-term investment, like investment that we are making, and the remaining money is kept as a working capital. So like if you are having 50 lakh rupees as the capital, 40 lakh rupees is invested on the this one long-term assets, and 10 lakh rupees you are keeping as a short-term assets or like the products that you are purchasing. It depends on the business that you are doing. Like imagine that like school. So for a school, working capital is not required much. Day-to-day activities, there are no any much expenditure. Okay. So only the expenditure like working capital required only to pay the salary of the teachers. That is the only working capital required. Other than that, there are no like building, like equipments, bus, all these type of investment. All a huge amount of money is invested in the fixed this one. Long-term assets are there. We are purchasing so many long-term assets are required. Ground required, parking area required, building required, all the furnitures required. All these type of things are there. Fixed assets. But working capital is required, only salary of the teachers has to be paid, some if a bus is running then petrol has to be filled and salary of the drivers, all this type of expenditure. If any breakage and all is there, then we may have to pay for the repairment of this one. So all this type of expenditure only will be there. So that is the minimum cost only required. Do you understand? But whereas if you consider about a grocery shop, what happens is that the fixed working capital is more required. Fixed assets and all are not required much. Only one building is required, some shelves are required, that is enough. Okay, 1 or 2 employees are there, their salary will be there. And other than that, they have to keep large amount of products inside the shop. So they have to keep the products and the products should be available in the shop. If a customer is coming to the shop, then she should get the product which he is coming in search of. So we have to make available maximum amount of products to the customers. The number of quantity should be there, as well as the desired products has to be there. So like if a customer is coming and demanding for a particular product, and if the shopkeeper is telling that this product is not there, okay, then what happens? He will go to another shop. And next time what he will do? Next time he will not come to the first shop. He will go to the second shop. Why? Because he knows that if I go there, I have to ask and the product will not be there, then I have to go to the second shop. So there is a wastage of time, wastage of money, all these things are there. So he will go to the second shop directly because he knows that the product is available there. So that one customer is lost. You understand? So that is a huge loss. So working capital requirement is very much essential. And imagine that if it, like a school is there, so we have spent all the money for the making building and all these type of things, and we are not keeping sufficient money for paying the salary of the teachers. or paying the other expenditures, so sufficient amount of working capital is not there, then what happens if the salary of the teachers are not paid on time? Then what happens? Teachers will leave the school and go. Because they are surviving based on the salary, and if the salary is not provided, they may leave the school and go. And if they give information that teachers are not getting salary and that is why they have left the school, if that impression is created, then any good teachers will not come to those schools. So those who are not in demand of money or good quality teachers will not be there. And if good quality teachers are not coming, then having very big building and all these things, type of things may not be helpful. Do you understand? So such a way the schools are there. Many of the schools which are like there are in village areas and all, there are some schools they are starting with a very huge amount of big building and so many things. But what they do is that they are mainly concentrating on the outside appearance. They will make big building, keep some cameras and smart class, all this, all the infrastructure they will create very nicely. But they will not provide good teachers. So what happens? They will come, first the parents will come and see, very nice building. If you study, my son is studying in this school, it will be very nice. But after going to the school, they will come to know that they are not getting anything. Then what happens? They will leave the school. They will study there for 1 year or maximum 2 years. Then after that, they will leave the school. And they will also give, like if one student is studying in one school, and if that student is living in that village, he will inform to everyone. He will inform that I was studying in this particular school and the teachers are not having good quality there, so that is why I left the school. So in that will be a discussion in the entire village. So any student from that village will not go to the school. So likewise there will be many students from different villages. So students will stop going to the school. And if the students are not going, there will not be any income for the school, so then the school has to be stopped. Do you understand? So the proper amount of working capital has to be maintained. It should not be more and it should not be less. If more working capital is there, what happens? The working capital, that much money is not necessary. See, like imagine that we are in need of only 10 lakh rupees as working capital. Only 10 lakh rupees necessary is there. But we are giving 20 lakh rupees as a working capital. Then what happens? Then 10 lakh rupees is a wastage. Because with this 10 lakh rupees, we are not getting any amount of profit. Okay. So if you invest this 10 lakh rupees in the fixed assets, it can bring, if you use this money for investment, it can bring profit. Okay. Just if you are keeping money in your shop, as money if you are keeping, you are not going to get any profit in that. Isn't it? So you have to, if you are having that money, you use that money for purchasing the products and keep in your shop, and the shop products will be sold, then you will get profit. Isn't it? Or you invest this money into any other means of this one. Like imagine that if a shopkeeper is there, they will have money and they will be using current account. And in the current account, if you are keeping the full money, you are not going 0% interest is there. So for current account money, there is no interest, 0% is there. So no benefit. You are holding 10 lakh rupees. If you are investing in your current account and keeping nicely, you are not going to get any benefit at all. Isn't it? 10 months if the money is deposited in the current account also, single rupee also profit will not be. So if you consider that this money is not necessary, like 10 lakh rupees is not going to be used in this for 5 months, you can put it for fixed deposit. Isn't it? At least if you are using fixed deposit, then 7% interest we will get, at least 7% interest we will get for FDs. Okay. So otherwise you have to invest in some other, you have to purchase some products and try to sell it, or you have to invest in otherwise you can purchase some shares, or anyway we have to invest this money. So simply keeping this money as working capital will not give any profit. Do you understand? And 10 lakh rupees is required but only 5 lakh is used, then also problem will be there. When we are in need of a product, we will not be having, when we have to pay the money to the, like if the creditors are coming, they are asking money. So if we are not able to pay the money, then they will not supply products afterwards. So then that will also create problem. Do you understand? So these are the some kind of issues regarding the short-term investment decision. So that is the first decision regarding the investment decision. The second decision is about a financing decision. It refers to the determination as to how the total funds required by the business will be obtained from various long-term sources. Long-term financial sources chiefly include equity share capital, preference share capital, retained earning, debenture, long-term loan, etc. Okay. So first one, we have decided that how to make investment. Second decision that we have to make is that how to bring this money. Okay. As I told you, if a company wants to make 50 lakh rupees as the capital, so how much amount of money will be taken as a preference share so equity share capital, how much preference share should be there, how much debenture should be there, how much bank loan should be there, all these type of decisions we have to make. Okay. So an analysis of the cost and benefit of all the sources is made. For example, debt capital, it includes both the debenture and the long-term loan, is the cheapest of all the sources. However, the regular payment of interest and refund of capital is a constant burden of the company. On the other hand, a company is free in respect of the payment of a dividend and refund of equity share capital, but because of the presence of a great number of equity shareholders, there is a possibility of the control getting lax. Apart from this, the equity share capital is the costliest of them all. In this way, after making an analysis of various factors, the proportion of long-term sources and of capital is determined. Okay. So we know, like if you are deciding that if there are so many sources are there, so there are two. We can divide this all the terms into debt capital and equity capital. Okay, so equity shareholders, the purchase, the money that we are collecting from the shareholders is called as the equity capital, and the money that we are collecting from other sources is called as the debt capital. Okay, so debt capital is called as the debentures that we are collecting, or a bank loan that we are collecting, all these type of things. Okay, so the debt capital is a very easy way of getting. Okay, so less costly. The amount of collecting money from the debt capital is easy and not much costly. Okay, but the problem is that, see, like if you take a bank loan, if you all like 50 lakh rupees you are in need, and if you are taking all this money as a bank loan, then what happens? You have to pay fixed amount of interest. Is you know, so if a company is taking maybe like 12% interest will be charged. Okay, so for 100 rupees, 12 rupees you have to pay as an interest. Do you understand? But equity share capital means that no interest is paid. There is no any fixed interest. Do you understand? Equity share capital is there, no fixed capital is there. Okay, and if you take this one, bank loan is there, means repayment is compulsory. You have to pay this money back anyhow. If you are taking bank loan of 50 lakh from a company, any bank, the bank, first you have to pay the interest as well as the full capital amount you have to pay back. Okay, but equity capital if you are taking, there is no guarantee to pay back also. Okay, if money is there, then only pay back. Do you understand? Equity share capital means once a person purchases the share, and only the thing is that the money has to be paid only when the company is closing. So there is a sufficient time is there first of all. Bank loan, if you are taking, the maximum duration they are giving maybe for 5 years, 5 or 10 years. Okay, normally they provide a loan for 5 years, 5 to 10 years maximum. If you are very huge, like starting a company and all, if you are taking 10 years, they will take. Okay, but within that period we have to pay money back. But for equity capital, there is no any time period is there. When the company starts, you will get money. When company closes, the money will be paid back. That's all. There is no any limitation of a particular time is not. And also there is no any compulsory that you have to pay the money back to the equity shareholders. Okay. But if you take full money like 50 lakh rupees, all money we are taking as equity share capital, then number of shareholders will be very much high. Okay. And when number of shareholders are increasing, then also there will be a problem, like management may not be done properly. So there are like when there are large number of people, then there will be confusion between their decision makings, and so many type of issues will be. But if you are taking money from the bank, they are not going to ask you any question regarding how are you spending the money. Only thing is that they have to get the money back. That's all. Is it no? Management, they are not going to bother also. They are not going to worry about the management. They will just give you the money, and only thing is that they have to get the interest on proper time, as well as the total money that we have invested has to be returned. Okay. The next we will study about the factors affecting the financing decision. So next we can study about the factors affecting financing decision. The following facts affect the financing decision. First one, cost. The cost of all the sources of finance is different. The rate of interest on debt, fixed rate of dividend to be paid on preference share capital, and the expectation of the shareholders on the equity share capital are in the form of cost. If the situation happens to be favorable, the benefit of cheap finance can be availed of by choosing debt capital. So the cost of finance is different for different sources. Like if you are taking bank loan, then the cost is there, like the interest that we have to pay. And the debentures are there, then the debentures also interest has to be paid. Preference share capital means for that also expenditures are there. And equity share capital, there also expectations are there for the shareholders. If a shareholder is expecting, and if he is getting expected return, then only he will continue as a shareholder, otherwise he will sell the share. And if he is selling the share for low price, then the market value of the shares will go down. You know? So when the people start selling the shares for a long period, I mean, so suddenly as soon as they are getting, and if the money is like if they purchase a share for 100 rupees and they are ready to sell it for 90 rupees also, then the share value of market value of the shares will go down. Is it no? But when a shareholder is there, it's like if I purchase a share for 100 rupees and if I am expecting that there is a profit from the company, then I will not be selling this share. You know, I will sell the share only when I am getting more than what company can give me. You know, if a company is, I know that a company is going to give me 10 rupees profit. So if I am expecting a 10 rupees profit from the company, I will not sell this share for 110 rupees also. Because company will give me 10 rupees profit. So 100 rupees I already spent, 10 rupees I can get. If somebody is offering me 120 rupees, then I may think that I can sell it. Is it no? So what happens is that the market value of the shares will go up when the company is in a profitable way. You understand? So these are there. So cost, regarding the cost, how much amount of cost will be there for different sources, that we have to calculate first. The next one is risk. Debt capital is the most risky form of from the point of view of risk. It should not be used. So risk for debt capital is very much high. As I told you, if you take a bank loan, you have to pay the interest, as well as you have to pay this money, full money has to be paid back. And if the money has not paid back, what will happen? The bank will come and capture the properties of the company. You know, and they will sell the property. If a land is there, that they will sell, and how much money is there for the all the properties they will sell. And after that, they will collect the money required for them. Any remaining is there, that only they will give. You know, they will calculate full money and the interest total. Like if 50 lakh if you are taken, and some 20 lakh rupees total profit interest is there, added together, all 70 lakh they will collect, and each and every property they will sell, and they try to gain the money. You know. But for equity share capital, equity shareholder cannot demand for the money also. They can demand, but if money is not there, if they say that the company is in a loss, then the equity shareholder will be suffering the loss. There is no any, they cannot put a file case and against the company that the company did not give me the money. You know, there is already the risk factor is there. So risk is, from the point of view of company, risk is low risk is low for the equity shares, and for bank loans and debt to share capital, very high risk is there. From our point of view, equity shares are having a high risk. Yes or no? So if we are thinking, if I invest money, if I put money in bank, no risk is there. Yes or no? I will get the money back. And in equity shareholders, if you are investing in shares, risk is there. Because there is no guarantee that the company will pay the money back. Yes or no? But if you put the money into the bank, you will get only 7% or 8% interest, but you will get the money back. Yes or no? Guarantee is there. Risk is low from our point of view. But from the company's point of view, bank loan is a very heavy risk because they have to pay the money back anyhow. And equity shareholders, money is not guaranteed that they will be paying back. So the less amount of risk is there. Then next, flotation cost. From the point of view of a floating cost, retained profit is the most appropriate source. There, it should therefore it should be made. Flotation cost means that like when you are purchasing a share, then some additional costs are there. Okay, so like if you want to if you want to issue shares, then you have to register in the share market, and you have to issue prospectus. So much amount of expenditures are there. So much amount of flotation cost is there for the equity shares. And bank loan also, there are some amount of expenditure, but comparing with the equity share capital, the bank loan and the debentures are having less amount of flotation cost. And for retained earnings, there is no flotation cost because already the money is there with us. There is no need of collecting the money back. So there is no flotation cost. That is why in case of flotation cost, the best form is retained earnings. Then cash flow position. If the cash flow position of the company is good, the payment of interest on the debt and the refund of capital can be easily made. Therefore, in order to take advantage of cheap finance, debt capital can be given priority. So the cash flow position of the company, what is the current situation of the company? If the company is in a good position, okay, so if company is having sufficient amount of money is there, sufficient amount of profit is there, cash flow position is very good, then debt capital is very much good. Because if company is running in a profitable way, we are having sufficient money, we can pay the bank loan on time, there is no any problem. Do you understand? So taking, if any additional capital is required, taking bank loan is the best source. Do you understand? Because company is having sufficient amount of income is there, cash inflows are there, we can pay, with that money we can pay the interest, and with that money we can, if a company is running in a profitable way, within few years time we can pay the loan back also. So such a way we will be able to make a huge profit, a good profit. Okay. Then next, level of fixed operating cost. In business there are mainly two types of cost. Fixed operating cost, that is rent of the building, payment of a salary, insurance premium, etc. So there are two types of costs are there. What is two types of operating costs are there. For means operating the business, there are two types of costs are there. That is fixed operating cost and fixed final cost. Okay. So fixed operating cost means the rent of the building, that say like if a school building is there, if the building is in a rented room, then we have to pay the rent. So that we have to pay. For running the school, we have to pay the rent there. Then payment of salary, if there are like teachers are there, then salary of the teachers has to be paid. So if we have to run the school, then we have to pay these fees. Then insurance premium. If insurance is taken, like mostly big companies and all, they are taking insurance on the building, on the product, and even on the employees. So that insurance premium also every month and every year they have to pay. Then fixed final cost, interest on debt, etc. If the level of fixed operating cost is in excess, it is better to keep the fixed final cost at their minimum. Therefore, debt capital should not be used. On the contrary, if the level of fixed operating cost is low, the use of debt capital is profitable. So, this one is about the interest payment. Like fixed final cost means mostly about the debt, interest of the debt capital. Okay. So, if we are having like a sufficient money is there, or if the operating costs are low, then we can take more bank loans. So because there are no much money required for that, and if the operating costs are high, then we can should not take. If high operating costs are there, then a low amount of debt should be used. Then control consideration. The ultimate control of the company is that of the equity shareholders. Greater the number of equity shareholders, the greater will be the control in the hands of the more people. this is not a good situation. Therefore, from this point of view, the equity share capital should be avoided. So control, if you want to have control, like as I told you, if you are taking the full amount of capital from the equity share capital, then what happens? The number of shareholders will be very much high. So when the number of shareholders are high, then we have to take the decision. So if we have to make a decision, then we have to discuss with all the members. So there are, when the large number of members are there, then their decisions will be different. So they will bring up with a different type of decisions, and some will be telling that we feel like if we imagine that we are getting some amount of profit, and the company is telling that we are going to keep this money as a retained earning, or only some amount of profit is to be distributed. Then some part of people, they will be saying that no, we want to have the money back, we are not allowing you to keep it as a retained earnings. And some others will be saying that you can keep it as a retained earnings if they are in a good financial position. So different people will have different opinions. Okay, and such a kind of complications will be. But if the number of shareholders are less, then it is very easy to manage the company. Okay, so control will be more there. Even as the number of equity shareholders are less, then more control will be there. We can control means if like private companies and all are there, 51% of the shares are held with the any one individual itself, like Reliance company and all this. So then what they can make a decision because the majority of the shares are with them. Okay, so based on they are not going to consider like 1% of shares with somebody else. They are not going to worry about them, but they are having major control is there. So majority of shares are with them, so they can have more control. Then a state of capital market. Bullish time brings more profit, therefore the people like to invest more in a equity share. On the contrary, the profits are low when there is a bear market. The people give preference to debt capital in order to earn more profits. Therefore, the source of finance should be chosen keeping in the view of the position of the market. So there are different positions, like when you see, like mostly when you have seen some pictures and all in the share market, you might have seen the picture of a bull and a bear. Have you seen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, normally when the share market is in a higher position or good position, it is increasing position, then there is a bull picture. And when this one is in a very not profitable, like now the Indian all the share markets are in a very low rate of interest increase is there. Okay, now bearish situation is there. So when a bullish situation means that the people are willing to purchase the shares. Okay, so there is a huge demand for the shares. So at that time, equity share is a better source. But at the time of bearish situation, if people are not willing to purchase the shares, now the problem is there. See, like people, first of all, the people are not having sufficient money with them. Like if people, those who are getting salary, their salary has been stopped. Some are not getting salary, some are only getting half, some are getting only 25%. Different people are, and even business people. So those who are doing business, they also, like a lockdown situation was there. Business was always, the shops were closed and they were not getting money. So people all are facing huge amount of losses. So in such a situation, people are not ready to invest money into the shares. But if things are going smoothly, things are very much nice, then there is a chance that people will be ready to invest money into the shares, and bullish situation will be. So at the time of bullish situation, they are investing money on the taking money from the equity capital is the better source. But whereas when you are taking it from the other one, then capital this one debt capital will be better. Okay. So the next topic we will study in the next class.